Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 86 of the Dear Herbalist Podcast titled Sensory Herbalism, Engaging All Five Senses. If you are new to this podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are returning, thank you so much for your continued support. I certainly appreciate it. If you guys are not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. Please. I would definitely appreciate it. So, welcome, Sensory Herbalism, Engaging All Five Senses. Let's go. We are going to dive into the rich sensory world of herbal medicine. We're going to explore the five senses to deepen our understanding of herbs and plants. And in this episode, I'm going to explore how sight, smell, touch, taste, and sound all bring a new layer of connection and insight into plant medicine. So I'm going to talk a little bit about an herb's color, shape, its growth patterns, and how these reveal its health benefits. And then why certain scents, invoke powerful emotions as well as memories, and why certain scents like rosemary or lavender can invoke, strong emotions or memories, and also how tasting or touching herbs can offer us some cues about their medicinal as well as their culinary uses. So whether you're an herbalist, a plant enthusiast, or just curious about nature's beauty as well as its plants, let's go. Let's join in. Let's hop in, connect with me, tap in as they say, and let's talk about these senses. Let's start off with sight. Now, when we're talking about the visual aspects of herbs, we're talking about the colors, the shapes, growth patterns. Okay. So with the colors, herbs come in a variety of different colors. Some come from like very deep greens to vibrant purples and bright yellows. And these colors can signify various plant properties. So for example, dark green leaves often indicate a high concentration of chlorophyll, right? And then red or purple colors may suggest the presence of, they call them anthocyanins, which are very powerful antioxidants. All right. Next is shapes. This is the visual aspects of herbs, what we notice visually. So with shapes, herbs come in many different shapes. Some can be as broad as, sage leaves, or they can be very little delicate leaves, such as those from dill. Right? But the leaf shape can actually influence water retention, sunlight capture, as well as the overall growth strategy, which impacts the herb's ability to be effective as well as how you can use it in herbal medicine. Another thing that we look at is growth pattern. Now, by observing growth patterns such as, whether a plant grows upright or does it sprawl out along the ground, this can kind of inform you about its habitat as well as its ideal growing conditions. So for example, upright plants may thrive in areas with strong sunlight, while spreading herbs may prefer a more shadier or damp environment. So paying attention to those growth patterns. So let's look at color as an indicator. Color plays a huge role in indicating a plant's medicinal property. So for example, more vibrant colors can suggest high antioxidant levels, which are beneficial for fighting off free radicals in the body. So consider visually how herbs can influence, let's say, even your mood or your motivation, to incorporate them into your wellness routine. Everybody loves a beautiful flower, right? So with visual observation, all right, let me give you a few tips for improving plant identification through visual observation. Number one, consider field journaling. So I want to encourage you to keep a journal of your observation. Note the colors, note the shapes, and the ground patterns that you see in various herbs. The other thing is in photography. So take some photos of the plants that you encounter, because this can help later in identifying as well as creating your own personal herbarium. Very important. And then the other thing that you can do is guided walks. So join local herbalism groups for guided herb walks, okay? And they can share insights on how to identify the plants by sight, by what you see. All right, let's go to our next scent, smell. Scent is very important in herbal medicine. It plays a huge role not only in herbal medicine, but also in aromatherapy, because there are volatile compounds that are released by plants that can affect our mood. It interacts with our body and our physiological systems to affect our mood, our cognition, as well as our emotions. So for example, the calming aroma of lavender can help reduce anxiety and improve sleep quality, thus helping you to be able to relax. There are also, when it comes to smell, there are emotional connections. So certain scents can actually evoke powerful emotions or even trigger memories. For example, the scent of rosemary may remind you of, let's say, a family meal, while peppermint might bring back memories of a childhood garden or maybe a tea that your grandparents may have given you. So scent does play a huge role in herbal medicine. It also helps you to be able to identify a plant as well by its scent. You know what once you smell peppermint, you'll probably never forget that smell. So you know if you see something, it's like, is this mint? It smells like garbage. Probably not. All right, let's also look at touch. Let's look at the importance of texture. Texture of the herb can actually inform you of their uses as well as their preparation. So for example, smooth leaves might be ideal for making like gentle infusions and that type of stuff, while rough or hairy leaves, let's say like those of mullein, for example, they can have different applications such as poultices or to address any type of respiratory issues. So that's the significance of texture. Next is physical properties when it comes to touch. So the physical properties of plants, such as, let's say, their moisture content or how dense they are, this can actually indicate their potency as well as how you can prepare them. All right, let's move on to taste. Tasting herbs not only enhance your experience with the plant, but it also gives you an idea or an insight into their medicinal properties. For example, bitter herbs. So bitter herbs like dandelion, they can help support digestion, while sweet herbs like licorice root can help soothe and nourish. When you are doing the herb rolled pills, I am one of those herbalists that really does promote doing the herb rolled pill way before you do the capsule, because your body needs to taste the herb in order for it to activate the things necessary to help the herb, get into the body and do what it needs to do. So I am one of those, I'm a huge advocate, even whether it's bitter or not, to taste the herb, because that really does matter and it really does help the body. Now, when you're talking about culinary herbs like your basil, your thyme, your cilantro, they're known for a lot of different medicinal properties. So for example, basil is known for its digestive properties and its anti-inflammatory effects. Thyme helps with, it's very antimicrobial. You can use it for cooking and medicine. And of course, cilantro is good for detoxification, but it also adds really good flavor to your dishes. So by tasting the plant, it really does help you understand medicinally what it can provide. The next one is hearing. So when you're working with herbs, okay, you hear a lot of different things, such as the rustling of the leaves or the sound of water for boiling tea or the crunching of dried herbs. These sounds contribute to the overall sensory experience and connection that you as an herbalist will have with the natural world. And so listening to the sounds of nature can actually enhance and deepen one's connection to plants. So spend some time out in your gardens or local parks and try to focus on the sound around you, like birds singing. And I was about to sing Jack Hartman, birds are flying. But, birds singing, wind rustling through the leaves, or even the flow of water. Sound is very important, and it helps the body, especially if it's like water flowing, relaxation sounds, but just engaging and touching the plants and, preparing the plants and connecting with the sounds that you hear, I believe is very, very important. And I think it enhances the overall experience that you really do have with the plants. So utilizing your senses is very, very important. Engaging all 5 senses is very, very important in herbal medicine. Not only does it provide a lot of physical, mental, emotional benefits to you, but it also helps you understand what the plant can do. Back in the day with our ancestors, they had to rely on their senses. They had to record and document based on their senses how they identified the plant. And it helped them to identify it, especially if there was one that was poisonous or whatever. They knew. And a lot of them passed down this knowledge verbally, but they knew based on how the plant looked or how it smelled. They pick up a leaf, how it tastes. And they could just tell you by the taste, this is what it's good for, this is what it does. It's an amazing, amazing skill to have. And so when you're out in your community, because I always encourage you to get herbs from there, when you're out foraging and you're out in your community, just practice. Take some time to do a walk. Look at a plant. Notice what are you smelling? If you've identified it properly, you want to peel off a little thing and taste it, go ahead and taste it. What are you tasting? What sounds are you hearing? Okay? All of these things will enhance your experience with the plant. So I want to encourage you to incorporate these sensory practices into your herbal routines and, express these with the community. But no matter what you do, stay connected. Stay connected. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media sites at The Demystified Herbalist. I did not want to keep you long this evening, but I did want to talk about this. I was trying to figure out if I had talked about it before, as far as your senses and using that to help identify the plants and how it can help you. I don't think I talked about it, so I'm talking about it tonight. But hopefully this has blessed your soul and you've learned something from it this evening. Follow me on all my social media sites at The Demystified Herbalist. And until next time, family, I'm out.